time for our fated return to Scalitz. This mission, I believe, is called Homecoming, which is most of what we're going to be walking through here. We're obviously at Rovner right now. There is not a terrible amount for us to do, technically speaking, but there are some things that we can get along the way. If you need things like food, especially dried food that doesn't go off, you feel free to go ahead and pick stuff like that up. We have a good opportunity to get a load of flowers here, but I don't like doing it when I'm not close to a place that I can either store it or a way to get rid of it all without just chucking it all on the ground because it's wasteful. We probably shouldn't fill our pockets with poppies, and you're going to see why as we move forward. Now, these guys that we can see on the road, and he's a bit in the distance over there. If I remember rightly, I'll try and zoom in, so hopefully maybe you can see him a little bit better. These are, in fact, bandits, and ideally, we don't really want to fight them face to face. We did get a load of armor in the previous episode, but I'm choosing to stay light for two reasons. First, I want to do stealthy stuff, but second, when we do each video, I don't want to assume that everybody from the previous video has done everything in that video, because like if I come in here with full plate armor and a shield and somebody picks up this video, they are going to be like, hey, I don't have all of that, what am I supposed to do? And so until we, well, probably until after this video, because once you've done this video, you can actually go back to Tallenberg and get all of that armor. But realistically here, we want to stealth on this guy and we're going to try and take him out in an easy way. Nobody's noticed me. Right, so we're going to get a quick tutorial on combat instead. I can't really take this slow and explain everything that we're seeing here. But basically, you see we have the reticle in the middle. Now, I don't know the controls on PC, but basically the right thumbstick on a controller is going to change the direction you are blocking or attacking from. The thing we don't have right now is we don't have the Master Strike, which is a big disadvantage that we have. So realistically, what we want to do is we want to block them just in time, and then we want to get in with at least 2 stabs. This is in general going to be enough to get them to either die, and maybe you can take some of the armor if you want. That's a sax. What am I using? My weapon's better than that anyway, but we'll take a spare. I'm surprised he managed to heal me. That kind of annoys me a little bit. The combat here is fairly defensive, so just bear that in mind. Try not to rush the combat and get used to the idea of parrying attacks, because that's realistically going to be the way that we deal with a lot of the enemies, okay? Now, of course, you don't need to fight any of them, but I 100% do recommend that you take the opportunity to get some combat skills up. It's not necessary, and actually very soon we actually are going to have, it's a very small window, but there is an opportunity to get basically as much combat stats as you want. Once that window is available, and it will probably be in the next video, so if you guys want to see that, hang around to the end because we'll have that linked in the end screen. But we 100% need to get defense up, and that's because of this. Armor gets incredibly heavy, so taking a third off of the armor that we're wearing is going to be amazing. Ideally, we want defense up, which is why we have a shield and we have sword, which you should have, because you should have had to get some extra loot to get out of Tallenberg anyway. I've probably been overcautious with how little gear I've brought with me, but it's all good. So for the purpose of my video, we're going to continue moving down. I'm going to suggest you at least try to get some arrow shots off. I absolutely suck at archery in this game. We've got 1 Groshen. Very nice. So we're going to follow the road down. There's going to be more bandits, so just be careful. I did get called a monster for looting the peasants on the way down, because obviously these are like people here are probably known. It's supposed to be an emotional experience right now. We can now see our village up on the hill. So we have another one right here. Again, we could literally skip this guy. We could just come out into the field, completely go by him, okay? I guess we'll just shout him off. It's only what we're doing. Now, I don't know if they've spawned yet. 100% avoid going over that way. I don't know if there's some kind of enemy leveling system, but when I did finally come back here on the streams, in the actual village where we're going and across the river that way, some fairly well-equipped enemies that we don't really want to mess with right now. We definitely want to be much better at combat than we are right now if we want to be dealing with those guys. So don't do that. So if I just do this as like a map marker, don't cross the river right now, because I just think that's going to be dangerous. We've got one right here. Look, I didn't see him. When it comes to aiming, the only real advice I can give you is it needs to kind of be over the left knuckle, but it looks like my guy doesn't even have the stats for the bow, so if we want to fight this guy, we're going to have to do it in melee. There's another one down. He's actually got some kutas, so we could get some extra armor if we wanted, but we're okay. I mean, we could take a leather jerkin. That probably would be an improvement over what we have. I was trying to be quiet. I was hoping to be able to stealth on these guys, but apparently I can't even use a bow yet. Once we get to the crossroad, what we're going to do is we're going to hang a left, and we're going to go through this little set of buildings right here. As we start running down, you'll see that we have a bridge. You don't want to be too noisy here. I don't think I can show them, but on the other side of that wall, there are bandits, and we don't really want to alert them all to our presence. So you may want to not sprint or even duck yourself down. We're going to go under this little wall here that has the drainage hole in it, and directly on the left, we're going to find that we have a chest full of goodies. We're 100% going to be taking those and leaving. With that loot collected, we can now continue moving into Scalitz. I return to the original crossroad where we started this small segment at, so we can continue on up the hill. We're just following the road because it's easier. You don't have to do this. Another enemy up in the road ahead. And especially once you're getting this close, you probably want to make sure you've made a save of some kind.
Answer to my prayer, just when I wanted to vent my rage at them. Giving up already?
With that guy dealt with, we can now start heading into the village. Be careful here because there are places that we can go that are going to trigger cutscenes, and we don't want to do that straight away. There is one we do need to trigger straight away, and we need to get a shovel, which is what we want first. With everything that we want taken care of from outside of Scalitz, then let's start heading inside. We need to head pretty much straight in. Try not to forget the shard that is in the bailiff's hand. It's not too bad of a weapon. And then get the cutscene with the parents as we head into the back end of the village. Once the cutscene's done, we want to go towards where the dog is barking, which is past the burnt out cart and through these doors. Get through all of his dialogue. You can loot a bit of groschen on the corpse, and then we can go ahead and grab the spade. Now that we have the spade, we want to take a left first because there's a bit of loot we can get before we leave. So we're going to come on down the back end right here and then dig right here where we can see this kind of footprints on the ground. Bit of loot for us. Now we want to head up to our home. Pick up any loot that you've left inside of your home's chest. It doesn't matter if we're a bit overweight. It's not too much of an issue. We are going to get transported to a chest where we can store all of this anyway. Pick the lock in the other room. We don't really care about the loot, but we will take extra XP. Head outside to get the next cutscene by coming over towards the tree and starting to dig. This fight is unwinnable, so it's up to you what you want to try and do here. Whilst we are in the dream, which is where we're going to finish this off, we want to make sure we have our weapon out and find as many NPCs as we can, as the XP will carry over. So find this stuff and just go ham. Doesn't matter what we attack, it doesn't affect the real world. And then all you need to do is follow the quest marker until you come out of the dream. This will lead to us waking up in a new place with Teresa. Obviously get through all of the dialogue. And then we can store all of our goodies in this chest that we wake up next to, which, oh look, has all of the other stuff we stored earlier. And also has all of the things that we had in our inventory in there as well. So it's all nice and stored for us, and you are in a great position to continue forward with the game.